Hi, I'm Brian from Atomic-Moto, here to do a review of the Alpinestars Corozal Adventure Boot. Let's jump right into the basics of the Corozal. This is Alpinestars mid-market ADV boot. They have a shorter version of this called the Belize. They have a version above this called the Toucan. This is their mid-market most popular adventure boot. That weighs 2.98 pounds for this size 10 here. It comes in two colors, black and this oil tan brown. It comes in sizes 7 all the way up to 13. Not a huge size range, but pretty good. And it retails for $329 as the filming of this video. Last but not least, the Corozal is made in Vietnam. Let me describe the construction of the Alpinestars Corozal. I'll move this one over here. Now, first of all, this boot is made with an oil tan leather. That's one of its nicest features. It's got this nice soft brown color. The black one, incidentally, is made with standard leather. It has a waterproof liner inside Alpinestars Dry Star membrane. That means that the boot will keep you dry in rain or if you're standing in water up to a certain point. It has two buckles and a Velcro closure around the top. That's a little bit better for more calf adjustment than 3 buckles. Some people prefer Velcro, some people prefer buckles up there. It has a good amount of plastic. First of all, it has a nice large shin plate here. Has a toe protector and shifter guard on both boots. No one shifts with a right boot, but it has it anyway. What's really cool about it is it has some plastic on the outside of the hinge that is kind of a tongue and groove or tongue and slot system that Alpinestars uses quite a bit. It kind of acts a little bit like a mechanical hinge, though it's not really a mechanical hinge. And that gives it some overlap, which gives it some support. On the inner side of the boot, it has a plastic cup-shaped insert here underneath the ankle. It has lots of interior padding. I'm going to try and open up to see if you can see that. It's got a good amount of foam padding. I'll hold this out for camera too. Good amount of foam padding on the inside. This boot actually feels pretty plush, which is a nice thing. The buckles are adjustable. Incidentally, Alpinestars seems to have won the buckle war. Their buckle design is really easy to operate. Gloves or no gloves, dirty or not, these buckles are excellent. They have plenty of adjustment. You can replace them if they need to. And then it has a really nice lugged sole on the bottom with a good pattern. That's a bonded sole. We prefer welt soles, but this one actually has a good feel to it and is nice and grippy on the pegs. We always like to highlight the protection of any boot that we're reviewing, and the protection of the Alpinestars Corozal is above average for the category. Now, there are other models in Alpinestars line and in other brands' lines that have more protection than this, but this one is actually above average. Let me show you what I mean. First of all, it's got good impact protection here on the front because of this shin plate. It has an insert heel counter in the rear. This looks like leather, but it's actually got a decent amount of support, so if you whack your heel on something, it's got some impact protection there. It's pretty heavily padded on the back. Now, there's no plastic insert here, but it has a pretty good amount of padding there. And then this kind of tongue and groove system on the side, that gives it a decent amount of lateral support. It's not too hard to flex, but it's actually better than many other boots in the category. Best thing of all, though, this boot is actually pretty firm in the sole. It's more firm in the sole than most other boots in the category. That's good for frontal impacts if you smack your toe on something or dig it into the ground or have the bike fall on you. That's probably due to the fact that they wanted to reinforce it so that it doesn't flex so much, because that'll make the waterproof membrane a little bit less susceptible to breaking way down the road. But still, this is one of the more protected boots in the category. Everybody that is looking for boots online wants to know some information about the fit. It's very important for ordering online. First of all, the fit is normal to maybe slightly wide, has a good amount of vertical height in the forefoot in the toe box. It's got a nice little bump out there. I'm going to try to show you that. It just has a nice little bump out, nice little contour to the toe. And then lots of internal padding to help hold your ankle and heel in place. Pardon me. Another thing about it that's nice, I'm going to push this out again for camera too, the calf circumference over it is on the top of the boot is fairly slim. It fits easily under any riding pant and will fit under Carhartts. Fits pretty good under most jeans. I tried it on some regular fit jeans that I had, and I was able to get my jeans over. It was a little bit of a struggle, but this is still pretty good for fitting under casual pants, and that's a good thing for a boot that has this much plastic and support up around the top of the boot. What are our thoughts on the Alpinestars Corozal? I like this boot quite a bit. It is one of my favorite boots in the Alpinestars line. I feel that Alpinestars has some winners and some less than winners in their line. This is one of my favorite boots. It's very well executed, has great feel, does exactly what it's supposed to do, and brings all of that home at a reasonable price point. Why? First of all, it's reasonably light, has a good, nice feel for when you're walking, has good protection. It's not as sturdy as some other boots in the category like the CD Adventure or the Formateri Evo, but this boot has a good amount of protection, specifically considering its price point. And then, boy, the comfort on this thing is just awesome. Alpinestars has nailed the shape of the boot and the padding on it, and so it just has a fantastic feel. In fact, that's something Alpinestars does really well. They're really tuned into the feel of a boot, and they do a really good job of that. The weight of it is on point, sub 3 pounds for a size 10. That gives a good walking motion. Again, it is waterproof. The top of the gaiter, the top of the waterproof liner, is pretty high on this boot. It's almost 10 inches, and that means that it'll keep you dry if you're in a rainstorm or if you're in standing water up to that level. Make sure in a rainstorm you have your pants properly covering the boot so water doesn't blow up inside of them. And then the styling of it. It's a really nicely styled boot. Wrapping up, who is the Corozal good for? What is the market in our assessment? Well, we feel like this is a good 70 road, 30 adventure or light off-road use boot. Maybe 60-40 at the dirt end of things. Certainly if you're doing more street, it's plenty convenient for that. It's nice for getting on and off the bike, nice for walking around. It has good all-day comfort. The fact that it's waterproof makes it a little bit more useful for multi-day touring or times when you're going out on the bike and you don't know what kind of weather you're going to experience. And I can't emphasize enough, the comfort of this is really good, really above average. And like I said before, this is one of my favorite boots in Alpinestars line just because they kind of nailed the paper design. There's a lot that can go wrong when you take a boot from a paper design and actually turn it into a real product. I know quite a bit about that. That was my background in the past. And they've really nailed this one. So this is definitely on our list of boots that you should look at, the Alpinestars Corozal. And we are Atomic-Moto, www.atomic-moto.com, home of the Bombers. We are mission focused on finding great stuff, analyzing it, understanding it, and then deconstructing it and explaining to you why you should be interested in it, like these. We're a small business, but we're very customer service focused. So if you have a question, reach out to us via email or give us a call. We actually answer the phone. We're old school that way. And as I like to say at the end of all videos, we hope to see you out on your bike.